Are live. Don't mind the ring light. I'm going to flip you guys around now. And I'm going to show you guys this Costco steak hack that we got over here. All right, cool. So I've been seeing a lot of this stuff on the internet for a while. So I did try this one other time with some New York strip steak, and I got some pretty awesome results. So I thought I'd share this with you guys today, as well as go over some of the questions that you guys may or may not have pertaining to myself, the channel, future plans, anything like that. Make sure you guys tap in, smash that like button, and let's go ahead and get started. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my hands, because why not? This is a real kitchen, real dishes. I just got home not too long ago with dinner for the family, and picking up this order from Costco. So I ended up grabbing some a big pack of ground meat, a big pack of chicken, and then I got this is beef ribeye, whole boneless, USDA choice, and I purchased it for a total of $204.67. I know it seems like a lot. Let me make sure that you guys. Yes, it is, Rochelle. Let me make sure that I can see your chats. Yes, I am, Mark. How are we doing, brother? How are we? Let me see if I can just adjust the chat. Make sure you guys smash that like button, and there we go. All right. So how's that angle? Is that good? Should I put it up higher? Let me know. So also, how's the audio? If you guys can hear me well, just put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. I might have to take breaks because my dog is, you guys can hear him in the background going crazy. He doesn't want to lay on his bed, so he's just making a bunch of noise. So here's some tips and tricks that I learned from watching a couple other videos. Get you a lot of paper towels. So I got a whole roll. Let me go check out the dog real quick. Bear with me 1 second. Stay on the bed, baby. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna back you guys up. Sweet. Or you know what? I'll probably put you guys higher, so that way you guys can see over the whole operation. There we go. All right. So first things first, we're gonna take a damp paper towel. And these are some of the tips and tricks that I learned from watching other people do it. So you're gonna take the wet paper towel, put it underneath your cutting board, just so that it doesn't slide as easily. This is the bamboo cutting board. Next thing you want to do is grab a really sharp knife. This is a fairly new knife. I also got a scale that we're going to be using today to weigh out any scraps to see how much waste we got. And then I got a couple of containers that we're going to put the meat in, and preferably use one for the meat, one for the scraps, so we can just see how much total we got. So here it says the total weight is 14.63 pounds at $13.99 a pound. So let me just go double check on the dog real quick, because it sounds like he's coming off his bed again. Jay, relax. And yesterday was my dog's birthday, so he just turned 17. He's a 17-year-old pit. All right, so now let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to need a lot of paper towels. And the best way that I saw that people did this was they cut the package open in the sink, and I'll just do that off screen. I don't want to keep touching my phone. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, because I do realize some of my content has gone viral again. They have the beefiest beef ribs. Oh yeah, what's up? Uh, oh, I remember. I kind of remember Mark One. Yes, sir. Yeah, I haven't had beef ribs. So the first cut of steak that I bought from Costco was a similar slab of New York strip. So today we got the beef ribeye whole boneless USDA choice. So let's go ahead and get started. Um, yeah, I'm gonna just cut this open. Let me see if I could just move the camera. See if it's that big of a deal. Like I said, dishes in the sink. It is what it is. This is a real house. I'm not, I'm not in this for the wow factor. I'm just trying to help you guys save a buck and see if there's any trimming we got to do. And yeah, let's go ahead and get it into it. So the instructions said, or the videos that I watched, they said that you're gonna want a lot of paper towel because what you're gonna want to do is put this on the cutting board. You want to drain it over the sink so all of the blood and all of that other stuff. Wow, this is beef. And they were saying what you want to do is try to just cut it in half. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. There we go. So I cut that in half. I'm going to go ahead and take this paper towel and I'm going to lay that down, double layer. And we're going to take this chunk and we're going to lay that right on here. Let me just make sure you guys can see. Yeah, you guys can see everything. So the instructions that I saw is that you want to do, you can do it by like the two fingers or whatever. I'm not really sure how. Let's see, how you making them. I'm not cooking them right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm just cutting and prepping, and let's see how much waste we got versus, I wouldn't even say waste, but like how much byproduct we got versus versus how much meat we actually have. So I'm gonna grab some more paper towel, and I should probably grab more than that. And they said you want to just soak up all that moisture, and that's what we'll do. I still got a whole another half in the sink, but one person in a video recommended you just keep cutting it in half. So just keep cutting it in half, and you're good. And my dog's probably crying because I was just holding him on the couch, and now he wants my attention, and he can't come over here. So that's why you guys hear his noise. Let me go check on him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, relax. Stay on the bed. Alright. So again, this is ribeye. Bought it for $204 for, what was it? $204.67 for 14.63 pounds. So what they said was you want to just keep cutting it in half, and that's just the easiest way. But I think that we should do a little bit of trimming before we do that. Oh, before we do that, let's go ahead, turn our scale on so we can get a base weight of how much this container weighs. 2.4 ounces. All right, cool. So 2.4 ounces, and we're just gonna start trimming off some of this right here. We can render that down later for some beef tallow or whatever. I don't know about you, but I like some fat on my steak. I don't really like a lot of fat. Um, Depending on what you're using it for, I mean, if you're using it for like tacos and stuff like that, you're gonna want some fat content. Um, I mean, even what you call that stuff, like a beef stew, but you don't make beef stew with this. This is too high of a quality. You want to use like beef chuck roast or something for that. All right, we're gonna flip this over, and this is a big, big layer of fat right here, and we're gonna try to peel off that membrane. And let me just double check the camera angle. Hey, what's going on? Chaostically. There you go. What's up, collabs? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, yesterday was my dog's 17th birthday. He is a pit bull. If you go on the channel and you look up me and the pup, you just type it in on the search bar on the channel, you'll be able to see what he looks like. And he rode around with me in the truck for quite some time. And yeah, yesterday we celebrated his 17th birthday. He's still alive, still kicking. Yeah, he's crying because he hears me. So we're not throwing any of this stuff away. This is stuff that we're just cutting off, and we're using it for. We're gonna use it to render it down later for like tallow, which could be used in multiple different things. Don't ask me yet because I'm still new to the game. I just started buying steak and stuff like that in bulk, but Chaos is the channel that has reposted the content, and I thank them for giving us the credit. And the comments have been off the chart. Ain't that right, Chaos? Yes, sir. 199. Thank you. I appreciate you, bro. Yes, sir. And Chaos, I don't know if you knew this, but with great power comes great responsibility, and then comes the springtime. We do a back to school supply drive where we donate with the help of our YouTube fans and subscribers and viewers, donations. Wow, look at that. And we buy back to school supplies, including but not limited to backpacks, crayons, notebooks, colored pencils, anything that these kids need for the upcoming school year. We like to donate that. So I'm gonna just go ahead and cut this off. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but this is a very fatty piece of steak, and I know I'm not gonna eat that, and I could just cook that down in one of my cast iron skillets or something like that, render the fat later. But let me see. And then we also do a Toys for Tots drive, which we did this year, or 2025, at the end of 2025. Look at that huge, thick, fat layer there. But that's awesome. That's beef tallow. You render that down, low heat, leave that thing on for hours. Yeah. So we used to do a lot on this channel, brother. A lot. We did everything from drone footage to video shoots, anything travel, anything truck related. We did it all. Wow, look at that marbling on that. Look at that. Ow! And unfinished thought. I gave the last bit of New York strip steak that we had. That's why I had to go out today. The last bit of New York strip steak that we had in the freezer to the dog for his birthday. All right. So this looks like a healthy layer of fat. Let me me see. Just want to finish cutting off that membrane though. Alright. That seems good to me. So we're gonna go ahead, get rid of that bloody paper towel. And got a little bit more trimming to do right here. All good. Alright. See, we got some fat nuggets right here. Alright, so in the video that I watched, mine, again, for those just joining in, this is only my second time cutting a big chunk of steak. And everything that I know, I learned it from another video. Let me go check on the dog real quick. Bear with me 1 second. You're fine. Relax. Just stay on the bed, puppy. He's just scratching his nails on the floor, making noise. Thank you, Chaos. All right. So what they said in the video is you want to just start cutting in half. That looked like about half to me. And I got a big wad of fat I'm having trouble getting through. Okay. Put that chunk right there, and then we're going to want to do it in half again. So I say right there, that's about half. And this knife is relatively new. It's not the newest. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people use very sharp utensils and then they put them back in the drainer without the sheath on it. Oh, that just grinds my gears. Like, what is the whole point of buying a new knife when you're just gonna dull it by rubbing it up against other utensils? So ideally, I would love to put this on a grill, just as is, but I can't be a fat boy forever. You know, just for reference, let's see how much this thing weighs. Let me see if I could get like a plate or a bowl or something. There we go. Like a big old steak like this, how much would this weigh? And if you guys could open up a tab on your phone or on your mobile device or whatever you're going to be watching this on, don't close out the YouTube thing. Go on to like your local like Walmart or local supermarket and see how much they charge per pound for this stuff. All right, so we're looking at a 4.7 ounces. All right, thank you, Chaos. Thank you for stopping by. 4.7 ounces. We're going to tear that. And that's a 1.5 pound steak right there. That thing is massive. And just let me know in the comment section what your supermarket or your Walmart or wherever you guys get your meat from, how much they charge per pound for ribeye. If you were to buy it, not like this, but buy it like in a pack. So I think this one, I could probably get 2 out of this one, maybe 3. I'll probably do 3, just to stretch it some. Hey Chaos, if you're still watching, if you want, you could repost that update video. Okay. And if you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to chime in now. All right, so we got our first steak. I know it's not pretty, but got a lot of marbling and a lot of fat in there. I'll actually pull out some of that fat nugget in there. Then this one. Having a hard time getting through that fat layer there. I'll tell you what, the New York strip is a lot easier to cut through. Jay, relax, puppy. Alright. Wow, I am butchering this steak, I tell you. Thank God I'm not for hire. This went from a ribeye to a skirt steak real quick. Yo, this is crazy. Alright. Yeah, the fat layer definitely makes it more challenging. So that's a little on the thin side. That's alright. We'll work with what we got. This one definitely got a big old meat nugget right here. So I don't even know if we'll even count those two, but that's alright. This one, I'll just cut it into two. He's probably crying because he wants his water. Let me go get that. That's a big healthy looking steak right there. That's another one. Let me go check on him. I'll wash my hands real quick. Jay. Here. Here. Drink your water. Come on. Let me wash my hands real quick. Alright. I am back. Let me just check the comments. Oh man. Red and black, I just gave him water. I just put it over there. He drinks a lot, but he also pees a lot. Oh yeah, look at this. My knife isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, but I am getting it done. What do you guys think? That looks pretty good, right? Alright, so we're going to go about half again. And I definitely recommend having a really sharp knife for this. You can just hear me cutting through that fat layer. Yeah, that fat layer was like in there. All right. Cut this in half again. I got some newer knives my neighbor gave us. Brand new package. There we go. Meat nugget. Oh yeah, look at that. What do you guys think? That's a Brit. That's about more than a finger. Okay. Cut this in half. Yeah. Cut it in half. And I might actually just trim this part. I'm not gonna sit here and wrestle with it. Now, put that in the scraps. Got a nice another ribeye right there. Another one right there. So before we continue, let's remember paper towels, because this next slab of meat is going to be covered in blood. Okay. And slide it out of there. I want you guys to look at all that. Can you guys see that? Oh yeah. Look how beautiful that looks. I wish I had a sharp enough knife I could just cut it straight like that. Alright, let's see. Get a little bit more paper towel, pat it down. But yeah, how do you guys like your steak? What seasonings you guys use? Jay, relax, puppy. You're fine. Your water bowl's right there to your left. So the thing about my dog is that he's almost completely blind. He can only see shadows and silhouettes from what my vet told me. Not my vet, his vet. My vet said I should be fixed. You're joking. Let me check on him. Puppy, you're facing the wrong way. This way, here. Look. Here. Alright, give me 1 second. Just wash my hands one more time. Alright. Back to patting it down. Check the comments. Man's best friend always comes first. Yes, sir. Alright. Finish patting that down. Alright. So we got this big old chunky fat layer in there. And we got all this backstrap fat. I don't know what they actually call it, but that's the way I look at it. you were to cut me open, this is exactly how my back would look. Hey, yo, who said that? All right. I feel like the guy at Cat's Deli, and I think it's New York, when they do the what is that? That was only like a little bit of fat, a little bit of meat on there. Cat's Deli in New York, they're famous for their, I think it's corned beef sandwiches or pastrami. It might be pastrami. Cut off some of that. And right here, turn that. This is a big old wedge of fat. Let me check on him. He's fine. He just pushed his water bowl over. Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said. All right. Yeah, look at that big old nugget of fat. But we'll render that down. Make beef tallow. And I don't know what I could use beef tallow for. Never used it. But this fat layer right here. I'll just trim that off. A little bit of meat. Okay. That looks like it makes some pretty good beef jerky, if you ask me. And then there's another nugget of fat in here. Right here. Another nugget of fat. Get rid of that paper towel. And that is another nugget of fat. Alright. So now we're going to cut it in half. I wonder if he's freaking out because he smells all this steak. Alright. Yeah, look at that big old hunk of fat right there. Alright, so let's cut this in half again. So right now, probably about 2 fingers right there. Wow, that actually looks like the candy cow tail. That's what that looks like, a big old chunk of fat right there, which is like the cream in the middle of the cow tail. It's like caramel with cream in the middle. Alright, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to go make sure he's fully on this bed. So he's stop freaking out. just put them all the way back on the bed. Alright, here we go. So in case those of you who are wondering, the video that is going viral again right now is the customer refuses the load. And actually we're going to cut this in half again. And it was actually reposted by another channel, Curiosity. And yeah, I think right now, I don't know when he posted the video, but that video, last I checked, has over 1 million views on a YouTube short. And I sent him an email. And yeah, we'll probably work together in the future. Alright, look at that big old steak right there. Wow. Any steak experts think I should just cut this little piece off? I don't know. What do you think? I'll probably just leave it on for now. Okay, that goes there. I'm going to cut this bad boy in half. Yeah, look at that huge fat nugget right there. I just pulled that out of the steak. Nobody's gonna eat that. Not that big old fat nugget. A little bit of meat. It's all good. Flip that over. I know this looks like a mangled piece of mess. And to be honest with you, I will probably do some more research on this meat the next time I do it. But geez Louise, this thing looks mangled. Okay. That piece right there. Most of that is fat. There's some meat in there. But again, I'm going to render that down. I'll cook all that up. So this will be one steak right here. With the fat eye removed. And actually a few of these steaks I could possibly, the ones that I already put in the bucket. Yeah, I can just yank that fat out of there. And they're not the prettiest steaks, but I guarantee you they're going to be pretty tasty. Put that on the grill like so. Some seasoning, salt and pepper, or we use this Brazilian steakhouse seasoning. As a matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll peel this away. Peel it away now. Try to get it all on the cutting board. Another chunk of fat. There you go. That's all fat right there. And close that up. And yeah. See if we could get a little bit more fat out of this side. Yeah, most of that is fat. Put that to the side. But yeah, so if anybody has any questions about the customer refusing the delivery video, chime in the comment section now. If you're here because of that, I'm here to answer any of your questions pertaining to the channel, pertaining to that video. Let me know what you got. Okay. So So now I'm going to cut this in half again. I know I am butchering the crap out of this meat, but you know what? If you want pretty steaks, you let the butcher cut it. You want to save some money, you cut it yourself. Okay. So this is one mangled steak right here. All good though. Got another mangled steak right here. All good though. Got a chunk of fat in here. I'll whip that out of there. Cut that out. That's another steak. Cut that little piece off. Cut to the side. So we got another cut of steak. And then we got one more to cut in half, I believe. Got a little tender cut. This, trim that, trim that. Most of that is fat. All good. Got a nice little meat nugget. Cool, cool, cool. And then this one might actually come out to a pretty thin steak. So what I do is cut that into two separate pieces. One, two, because that got some weight to it. And we got another chunk of steak right here with some fat on it. Trim the fat. Meat nugget, fat nugget. Put that over there. And this steak is probably good the way it is. And if I cut it in half, okay. So I'll count this as one steak. Let's do our counts. And I'll probably just trim off the fat now while I'm here, because I mean, yeah, fat does add flavor, but that's why I bought the, what was it, ribeye. So we got one steak. Count that as two steaks. Count that as three steaks. Four steaks. Five steaks. Six steaks. For a couple meat nuggets. 6, 7. I'll cut that fat out. Cut off that fat. So 7. I know it looks like a mangled mess. 7, 8 steaks. 9, 10, 11, 12, meat nugget, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and another meat nugget. So 17 steaks from a $204 chunk of beef. I will probably trim up some more of this fat, but 17 steaks, that's not bad. That is not bad. My meat tower keeps falling over. So 17 steaks. Yeah. Sink Dirty ASL. Well, yeah, I began with that in the beginning of the video, saying I just got home, dishes weren't done. I decided to come live for you guys. This is a real house, not a professional kitchen. I said that. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's just dishes, bro. Yeah. So 17 steaks. I don't know. Should I? I mean, I'm probably gonna rip out some more of these obvious meat nuggets, fat nuggets. But yeah, let's see how much of this once I get it trimmed up a little bit more. Putting the scale on, putting the bucket on, tear that out. Let's see how much of the, what was the original weight? 14.63 pounds. How much of that are we actually going to serve? So that's mostly fat, some meat on it. A little bit of fat on the end, not a big deal. Got some embedded fat, not a big deal. Fat on the end. Just cut that off real quick. Got a big old fat nugget right here. Mostly fat, a little bit of meat on there. Okay. Got a little bit of fat right here. Try to trim that when it's the least amount of meat loss possible. That fat, I'll just leave that right there. And I think my scale only goes up to 5 pounds, so. Yeah, we got some fat on this one. Okay. We're at 4 pounds. Okay, right there we're at about 4.8, 4.13, 4.14. That's about, that's 5 pounds of meat right there. So I'll take that, put that on a plate next to it. So that's 5 pounds of steak right there. And again, we're just weighing it just to see how much of them to use. A little bit of fat right there. I'll just cut that off real quick. Okay, now we're back to 0. See, can you guys see that weight over there? There we go. Okay. Okay, so that's 10 pounds. So that's probably like another couple of ounces. So 10 pounds of meat. And then, how much was it originally? 4.63. So we're looking at about almost 5 pounds of fat we trimmed off this steak. So about one third of that whole entire slab of meat is we're not gonna eat that. So I don't know. You let me know down in the comment section. Do you think it's worth it? Hey, what's up, Ashley? So yeah, so we just did. If we do a cost analysis, so 204.67, we'll round it up to 205. 205 divided by 3 because one third of it is steak, fat, and scraps. So about 5 pounds of the 15 pounds that we bought is steak fat and stuff that got to get rendered down and stuff. We're looking at about about 60 some odd dollars because 33% would be one third of 100. So we're looking at about $66 worth of fat scraps and stuff like that. I might actually even start rendering this down tonight. I know I have more in the freezer, I think, but I don't know if my big pot, no, my big pot is soaking. So I know that my lady has a vacuum sealer, so that's what we put all the steak in. Yeah, been definitely been kind of busy. I have been. I tell you that much. So yeah, about $66, $67 worth of all that was just fat. I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to waste, but it's definitely not. We're not going to eat that right off the rip. You know, where all the dishes will get washed and sanitized and all that stuff. What everybody's all worried about. I got my Clorox over there. We're good. Yeah, I don't know where the vacuum sealer is, but I need to get another container to put all the meat. I was told to just put all the meat in the roasting pan and she'll deal with it when she gets home. She actually went grocery shopping. So yeah, altogether I spent about $205 on that, and then yeah, I spent about $205 on that. Oh, let me just put this steak that's on the plate from here. Goes there. Goes there. And I might just start washing the pot, but I also need a container to put the towel in. Oh, I see the container. All right, but yeah, we've been keeping busy over here. I tell you, we're getting ready for car show season again and all that stuff. Let me go ahead and take you guys off of this. But yeah, so we've been just doing a lot. Like besides me working 60 hours a week, being up at 12:30 to 1 in the morning for work, this shit's crazy. It's too crazy. Oh yeah, gnarly for sure. Oh man, but yeah, I gotta put all this stuff in the fridge. I don't even know if I have space in the fridge. Because normally we just vacuum seal it and put it right in the freezer. Yeah, I should have space right there in the bottom shelf. I don't have space for two. Yeah, so we've been cutting and splitting wood, and got my son his own little farm stand, so he's been making some money off of that. And other than that, all is well. Trying to get caught up on some bills myself. Trying to stay ahead of everything. Yeah, let me go ahead and put this in the fridge. I mean, 10 pounds of steak is still a lot, though. Oh, man. All right. And, I might have to look up the recipe. I wouldn't even say the recipe, but I might have to look up how to render beef tallow. I know you put it on like super low heat and just let it sit there for like hours. And then I heard of some people, they do it in a crock pot. But yeah, yesterday, Ashley, I don't know if you remember my dog, the pit bull, Jaden. We celebrated his 17th birthday yesterday. And part of the reason why I went out today to buy more steak is because the last batch of steak that I had from Costco we bought some New York strip, and then he had the last of it yesterday for his dinner. And that's him in the background making noise. He keeps pushing himself off his bed. Let me go check. You're okay. Sometimes he just likes to be covered, so let me just cover him up. There you go. Sometimes he'll cry and cry and cry just because he doesn't have any covers on. What are we streaming? So I just got done doing the Costco meat hack, where you buy a big old chunk of meat and what in the crap is going on? There you go. Jaden, what the? What do you, bro? Hold on. There we go. He just threw himself off the bed. He was laying there 1 second, and he was like puppy parkour, and then just like sent it full send. Yeah, so we did the Costco meat hack, where you go buy, anywhere from a 10 to 20 pound chunk of steak, beef, whatever you want to call it, and then you cut it up yourself and see how much money you save. And in our case, I'll show you this. The whole package was about 14.63 pounds. We'll just round it up to 15 for argument's sake. This is about 5 pounds of steak fat and you know, there's some meat on there, and we're probably going to render that down. I'll see what my lady says when she gets home. She should be home, you know, within the hour. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. And then I just got to wipe down everything over here real quick before she gets home, because I'm sure she's going to have more stuff to separate. And obviously disinfect stuff. I'll put that over here. But yeah. But yeah, and then also I was talking about it earlier on the live that some people have reposted some of my content, and it has gone viral. And I'm here to answer any questions people may have about the content. All right, Crazy Mark. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. So yeah, right now I'm just wiping down the counter, making sure it's blood and fat free. That stuff always makes me cough. Oh man. And yeah, right now I'm about to wrap up this live stream and probably go lay down on the couch. I've been up since about 1. I've been up since about 1 a.m. So I'm probably just gonna go lay down on the couch until the groceries get here, and then I will assist my lady and my kid if they need it. All right, cool. All right, but I thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys smash that like button, leave a comment down below. And if I can find the update video of the customer refusing the delivery, I will be sure to post that. Or maybe I'll even take the link and put it in the description of this video. And I've already talked to the person that reposted my content earlier. I already told them that there's another update video out there, so they can just feel free to take that and post it if they want, or I can repost it, whichever is easier. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.